India's External Affairs Minister S Jaishankar has begun his 9-day visit to the United States. He is leading the Indian delegation for the high-level week at the 78th session of the United Nations General Assembly. He will also be holding various bilaterals at Washington, D.C. Here's what is on the agenda for his visit. India's Foreign Minister started his visit with participating in the Quad Foreign Ministers meeting at the UNGA sidelines. Quad is a framework that comprises India, US, Japan, and Australia. All the Quad foreign ministers reiterated their commitment to a free and open Indo-Pacific region. They also underlined their commitment to the United Nations Charter and called for all countries to uphold its purposes and also principles. The ministers supported the full implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and achievement of Sustainable Development Goals. They also talked about the expansion in permanent and non-permanent United Nations Security Council seats at this meeting, which took place yesterday. Additionally, they expressed their concerns over the war in Ukraine and underscored the importance of peace. They also supported United Nations efforts to resume the Black Sea Grain Initiative. The Quad ministers condemned North Korean missile launches and its continued pursuit of nuclear weapons. In their joint statement, they also expressed concerns over the Myanmar crisis and called for the immediate cessation of violence. India's External Affairs Minister S Jaishankar also met with his Japanese counterpart. Both ministers further exchanged views on India-Japan special strategic and global partnership. All this took place yesterday. Jaishankar will be leading India's UNGA delegation from September 22nd to 26th. He will be hosting a special event called India, United Nations for Global South, Delivering for Development. The event will see participation from dignitaries at the United Nations as well as foreign ministers from various nations from the Global South. The minister will also hold bilaterals and plurilaterals, those are many bilaterals, and will meet UN Secretary General as well as the current UNGA President. The Indian Foreign Minister's address at the UNGA is scheduled for September 26th. After participating at the UNGA, Jaishankar will embark on his Washington visit from September 27th to September 30th. He will hold discussions with his US counterpart, Antony Blinken, as well as senior members of the Biden administration. He will also meet US business leaders and think tank members. Before heading back to New Delhi, India's Foreign Minister will address the Art of Living's 4th World Culture Festival. All this is happening at the United States. Remember that the External Affairs Minister of India is on a 9-day visit to the United States. He will address the United Nations General Assembly and he will hold bilateral meetings with business leaders from across the region in the United States. And for more on this, our correspondent Susan Teherani has sent us this report from New York.
India's External Affairs Minister S Jaishankar arrived here in New York on Friday to take part in the 78th session of the United Nations General Assembly, a 9-day trip which will also take him to Washington, D.C. after his visit here in New York. On Friday, the Quad foreign ministers met and reiterated their commitment to a free, open, inclusive, as well as resilient Indo-Pacific, while calling for an immediate cessation of violence in Myanmar. They also called for the respect of Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. On Saturday, S Jaishankar is expected to host a meeting on the Global South. The summit is called India UN for Global South, Delivering for Development. The event will see participation from a number of UN dignitaries, as well as foreign ministers from Asia, Africa, Latin America, the Caribbean, as well as small island states. And it plans to shed light on the important role the Global South can play and how their voices may be amplified, including here at the United Nations. Susan Teherani reporting from New York for WION World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.